Hi, and welcome to my channel. My name is Bryndís, and today we're talking about some books I bought for my permanent book collection. So if you're new to my channel, I am collecting books. I love books, and I want to have a beautiful, curated home library. So at the moment it is these shelves behind me. I have also a shelf on the wall here across from me, and like a low bully bookcase here next to these shelves. There are my kind of read books that I've read, I've enjoyed, and I want to keep for the long term. I also have couple of other short bully bookcases with my TBR, like my unread books. But yeah, so slowly I want to build my book collection and fill my apartment basically as much as possible with books that I've read, books that I've enjoyed, and books that I want to be able to look at every day. Remember the reading kind of experience, because it brings me so much joy. And also I want to be able to reread them. The reason why I need to be buying books that I've already read is because over the last 5 years, 6, 7 years actually, that I've been kind of back into reading quite a lot, up to 100 books a year or even way more than that. It's majority been through audio. Audiobooks basically made me back into a reader. I used to read quite a lot as a child, as a teenager, and into my early 20s. But then around my mid-20s, I kind of just stopped reading. And that's sad, I think. So the fact that I discovered audiobooks in 2018, just kind of, I was 42 and it just kind of, 43, sorry. And the world I discovered through audiobooks of books that I would never have read otherwise, and it has just been a source of so much joy in my life. So audiobooks are still my main way of reading books. But then from last year, I kind of made the decision last year to start to grow my own home library. I have my own apartment that I bought 4 years ago this March, which is wild how time flies. I don't plan on moving across country or abroad. I might move within my neighborhood, but I have absolutely no plans on moving until I'm very gray and old and need to go to a nursing home, basically. So I can collect books because it's not gonna be, I've spent a lot of years moving around, being quite the wanderer, but now I've kind of made roots. So I feel very content and happy where I live and not worried about having a lot of books that I need to move in the near future at least. So I'm collecting books. Now, having said that, I live in a 40 square meter apartment. So I do not have a lot of room. So I need to be intentional and I need to be like a curator of the books that I buy. So I'm trying to abide by my rule of I will only buy my 5-star reads. So books that I've read through audio or a couple of books on Kindle or even through library, although I haven't been using my library a lot in the last couple of years. I used to do that much more. But I want to only own my 5-star reads, the books that have just stood out to me and brought me so much joy, and books that I think I'm going to want to reread. And so that's kind of the first rule, 5-star books. I can buy all the 5 stars that I want, all the 5-star books that I want, that I've read. I do also allow myself to buy the occasional 4-star. So sometimes the 4 stars are still books I want to reread, still books that brought me joy, but they are not just like, they didn't blow me away. Maybe they are a part of a series and I would love to own the complete series, you know, things like that. And yeah, that's basically my rule. 5-star and the occasional 4-star. But I also am collecting, there are always exceptions to the rules, right? So I'm also collecting few books. So I'm collecting Stephen King. I want to slowly read, I don't know, his entire collection. That would take me probably the rest of my life because he has written quite a lot of books. I am slowly getting through his first decade of publishing books. And so I want to probably going to want to own the books that I've read by him. I'm collecting Agatha Christie, and some of her books were 3 stars. So, but I'm still gonna collect them. Am I collecting anything else? Yeah, I mean there may be a couple of authors that I will collect. That may not all of them be 5 or 4 stars. So far, I mean, I'm also like in the classic section. I love Jane Austen, Elizabeth Gaskell, and I've read a couple of books by George Eliot, Charles Dickens. So these are authors I would love to own all of their books. But we'll see. I mean, I'm expecting all of them to be 5-star. I've read all of Jane Austen; they've all been 5 stars, and so yeah. So there are a lot of like caveats to the rule, but in general, I want to only own the books that I really, really enjoy. So this book haul is gonna be these books that I bought to add to my book collection. Now I will say that this is gonna be the last this type of book haul on this channel for this year. I'm on a book buying ban. I will talk about it in my next book haul, which will be coming up in April in maybe 3 or 4 weeks. I've been tagged in so many videos. I have so many videos I need to do or that I want to do. So, but yeah, I will film that soon and show because I've also been buying books that I haven't read, which is the reason why I need to go on a book buying ban. I will talk about that in that video. But anyway, these are the books that I have read and that I have, for the most part, given 5 stars. And I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna start. So these are, I have like contemporary literature, like literature written by contemporary authors. I have a couple of nonfiction, and then I have my mystery books that I'm collecting for my mystery shelves, and classics. So it's a mixture of books there for sure. I'm gonna start with the contemporary, which are a couple here. First of them is Galatea by Madeline Miller. So I bought this, I ordered it online, and I actually thought it was gonna be like a proper sized book, but it's like this mini book. But it's very cute. I really loved this short story. It is quite disturbing, like psychological and domestic abuse, but it is done. I mean, I love Madeline Miller. I have a little collection starting here with her books. So this is the 3rd Madeline Miller that I own and that I've read and enjoyed it so much. And so I'm very excited to have this tiny little book in my collection, although I wish I had realized that it was so small and bought a different version that would have been a little bit larger. But no, turn it this way then. But yeah, I'm very happy with my Madeline Miller. And then this is actually a book that I've I've already shown you in my February wrap-up. But I bought it unread, and I read it as an audiobook and then I went straight out and bought it. I really enjoyed it. It's a 5-star read for me. I thought it was just really fantastic and well-written, gripping story that really kind of captured me. And I love this type of historical fiction, kind of, but also contemporary, like the mixture, because the narrator obviously was in today while telling them their life story from back in the day. So yeah, I thought it was really, really well done. And I am curious about reading more by Taylor Jenkins Reid for sure. So this is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid, in case I think I forgot to say that actually. And then I have of Stephen King. So this is The Dead Zone. So I read this book, I think like 2 years ago. 23, I think, rather than 22. And I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the first part more than the second part. So the first part is the story of Johnny. Is his name right? Yeah, Johnny Smith. And him like waking up from the coma and all these things. I really enjoyed that. It's kind of like supernatural, but is it supernatural or like, yeah, I thought that was really cool. I really enjoyed the TV series, The Dead Zone, and I thought there were some interesting differences between the book and the TV show. I actually think I like the part in the book a little bit better than what was going on in the TV show, but both of them are that's one of my favorite TV series actually. The second part of the book is more like political, dystopian, fascist person trying to become president, with like religious zealots supporting him, and like, yeah, that was, is it dystopian or is it reality? Yeah, that was not that wasn't actually the reality when I read it first, but it was very close to reality back then because, you know, yeah. Anyway, it's a really good book. I recommend this book. I thought it was really interesting and fun, and I definitely recommend the TV show. So I'm happy that I have it in my collection, and I think that I might want to actually reread it at some point. I'm not 100% sold on these editions of the Stephen King books. I kind of like the mass market paperbacks a little bit more, but I have a few now. This is the fourth one in this edition that I own by him, and it's okay. Again, big book, but I really enjoyed it. And now I have a couple of non-fiction. I have 3. They're all biographies. One of the things that I enjoy the most is to read biographies of historical figures, historical people. And I think there was like, I was looking through my reading journal the other day, and I think in like 2021, I read almost only non-fiction. Like there was almost no fiction there. Maybe there was some like thrillers, but basically it was all non-fiction, historical non-fiction, not like academic non-fiction. So I love historical, like books about history. History is just one of my biggest hobbies, and I think that if my life would have gone a little bit different way, I would be an historian, a history professor or something today, because it's so fascinating to me. So I have 3 books here by women, about women, which is also one of the things that I enjoy reading. So the first one is Elizabeth of York by Alison Weir. Alison Weir is definitely one of my favorite historians. I mean, she writes very approachable biographies and historical books. So yeah, I really enjoy her. I think I've seen her also quite a lot on YouTube or on like TV or something. So she does really well with like kind of simplifying a little bit history, but still not making it too simple. So it's still realistic. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. Elizabeth of York, she was the oldest child of Edward IV, of the War of the Roses in 15th century England. And she was married, so she was at least rumored to have been in love with Richard III, which is something that is always a little bit difficult for like modern people to like think about, because obviously he was her uncle. But I don't know that, I don't remember exactly if there are like historical records to prove that, but anyway. But she was married to Henry VII, who killed Richard III. And she was the wife and the Queen of England, Queen consort of Henry VII, and the mother of Henry VIII. Oh my God! And then the grandmother of Queen Mary, Queen of Scots, or great grandmother. I always remember. I never remember how they are related. But anyway, she was a pretty cool woman, and she was like a go-getter for sure. Made things like followed her own path, and to a degree, obviously, as much as she could. But this is a very good biography, and I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I think I've read a lot of books by Alison Weir on like different queens. And then we have Alison Weir again. This is Eleanor of Aquitaine. So Eleanor of Aquitaine was French, from, what is it called again? Aquitaine, obviously, but she was like a duchess or something in Aquitaine, or in that part of France. She was then married to the King of France. But the king of France at the time, I can't remember his name, he wanted to be, he should have been a monk, basically, so that their marriage was not very successful. And then they divorced, or their marriage was annulled. And then she ended up marrying Henry II, I think, of England. So she is the mother of Richard Lionheart, Henry III, or Edward something, and King John. She went on pilgrimages to the Holy Land. Rumors said that she had like affairs, and she did like this epic journey with Princess Berengaria or something, who was supposed to marry Richard the Lionheart. The things that happened in this woman's life back in I think it is the 13th century, 1200 something. I'm sorry, I'm really bad with 12th century, yes. So it was very fascinating. I really enjoyed it. And I think after I read this one, I actually read I think is it by Philippa Gregory, who has made like fictional, I don't remember, but there's historical, fictional kind of romances starring these historical women, but like fictionalized. And I think that one of them has Eleanor of Aquitaine. And yeah, anyway, excellent biography. And then the last biography that I have is by Leonie Frida, and it's Catherine de' Medici. So Catherine de' Medici was Italian, obviously of the Medici family, and she was married to the King of France. Was it Francis I? I can't remember. She had like at least 3 sons who all became King of France. She was the mother-in-law to Mary, Queen of Scots, and she was the regent. She was badass woman. And this book is fantastic. And I've also read the biography of Francis, her husband, by Leonie Frida. I don't know, maybe she's a French expert in French history, but this was really good as well, and I really enjoyed it. Okay, so we're now going into a little bit more contemporary novels, like fiction. First is my mystery. I have some mystery books there that I want to talk about. And in January, I read the Marlowe Murder Club series, the 4 books that are out already, and I bought 2 of them. So this is book 2, Death Comes to Marlowe, and book 3, The Queen of Poison. I also ordered the first book, which is just called The Marlowe Murder Club, but it hasn't arrived, which is very annoying. And the 4th book, which is Murder on the Marlowe Bell or something like that? It hasn't, I haven't found it on paperback yet, so I have to wait until I can buy that. But yeah, I loved these books. They were so much fun, and I'm pretty sure that these are gonna be like rereads for me again and again, I think, because they were just easy and fun, entertaining, and all of the things. So I'm very happy that I have these, and I cannot wait to get the other book that I've ordered. But hopefully eventually. Can I move them a little bit? Okay, yeah, my this one fell from. Oh, never mind. And then I'm also collecting Agatha Christie, like I said before, and I have 3 Agatha Christies that I found, and one of them was new. I'm trying not to buy the new editions because they're not that. I mean, I wouldn't mind having all of her books in new, pristine, beautiful editions, but they're expensive here in Iceland. So, and there are a lot of books. She wrote a lot of books, so I'm trying not to go broke. But I've been really wanting to have this book, and I saw it at the bookstore, and it was kind of an impulse buy. It's a really fun. It's one of my favorite Poirot's, definitely in the top 10, I think, of the Poirot books. One of the later ones. It has Ariadne Oliver. I always want to say Ariane Grande. Ariadne Oliver, and it's just a fun book, and I kind of like this cover. So I'm happy that I have that one. But I also bought 2 at the thrift store that actually already own in different copies. So I have, this is Curtain, and this is The Secret Adversary. I regret buying these because they are ugly. I need to stop buying every copy I see if they are not beautiful. Like if I don't like them, I don't like them. This was a stupid buy. I do plan on eventually, maybe this summer, maybe not until next year, to go through all the Agatha Christie's that I have and just own 1 copy of each. Hi, Emma. Yeah, my cat has arrived. Hi. And yeah, I think it's enough to own 1 copy of, like, she wrote like 60 books or something. I need to kind of figure that out when I have like the time and mental capacity to do that. But hi. Yeah. But yeah, because I own this copy of The Secret Adversary, and I mean, it's not my favorite copy, but I bought it in Brighton, in Waterstones. So I'm thinking that this is going to be the copy that I keep. So why did I buy this one? No idea. No idea. But, and then I have like 2 other copies of Curtain that are much nicer than this one. So yes, I am a little bit insane. So now we're heading to the classics. 2 of them are actually mysteries as well. And those are Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes books by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. So I found this edition of The Hound of the Baskervilles, which I think is just very nice. I think that's a fun book, fun story that I really enjoyed. And I actually, a couple of years ago, listened to all of these books narrated by Stephen Fry. I had like an Audible subscription for a couple of months just to listen to all of Stephen Fry, because at that time at least they were exclusive to Audible. And oh my god, it was just divine. But this one is definitely one of my favorite of his books or his stories. It's one of the few novels, so I'm very happy with this. And I found it at a thrift store, but it's almost like new. And then the other one that I found was The Return of Sherlock Holmes, which is a short story collection. Yeah. And it takes place after, the events with Moriarty, if you know the, and I like them that they are like these little pictures in there, but it's ridiculously small print, and it's like a Bible, like in columns. Like what? Nobody can read this. You have to have like a magnifying glass to actually read it. I can't even It's just ridiculous, but it's a fun copy. And I didn't have this one, so it's because I do have a few of the books, but so that was fun. Hi, do you want to say hi to people? You haven't seen Emma, I think, for a while. Oh, come here. Oh, she just turned 17 a few weeks ago. Yes, you are, old lady. And definitely showing her age, for the most part. Very thin and frail looking, but she's like vicious still, so. Oh, you booty. Anyway, okay. Let's go through the rest of these books that are all classics. So these are, a couple of here are from the thrift store, and then a couple that are new. So this one is Dubliners by James Joyce. And I actually owned a copy of this, but when I saw this one, the Oxford World's Classics, which is one of my favorite editions of classics. Good. I didn't really like my other edition of Dubliners that I had, and so I'm very happy that I found this one. I actually already gave the other one to my niece, but this is I love Dubliners. It was one of my favorite reads of last year. It's a short story collection. I think 14 or 15 short stories. Now I'm covered in cat fur. Do you know that? And but they're really good. James Joyce has a reputation for being a very difficult author. If you think about Ulysses and Finnegan's Wake, but this one is definitely very different. This is just difficult because it's very bleak and miserable, but it's not like difficult in that it's like literary. It's a classic. It takes place around the turn of the century, the 20th century. So yeah, I love that, and it's in a very good condition. And then another book that I found in the thrift store is Gulliver's Travels by Jonathan Swift. I read this one in college. I actually studied Jonathan Swift for my bachelor thesis when I was doing my degree in English language and literature, but it was not this one, it was A Modest Proposal. It was really fun to examine A Modest Proposal, which is a satire about the famine in Ireland and the solution they could do in order for people to have something to eat. I recommend you reading it. It's very disturbing, but also very poignant. Gulliver's Travels is obviously just a famous book and really fun and interesting book for sure. And then we have Evelina by Frances Burney. I read this book last year for Jane Austen July, because Frances Burney is kind of a Regency author, or at least on the earlier outskirts of the Regency period, with like literary period. This was an enjoyable book. I enjoyed it quite a lot. It's about Evelina, a young lady going into the world looking for a husband, or at least maybe not, she wasn't necessarily actively looking for a husband, but everybody around her was definitely looking for a husband for her. And it was just really kind of fun. It's like a epistolary novel, which I really enjoy. And I really wanted to own a copy. And I want to very slowly build up my 18th century literature, or like literature before the 19th century. So all of these books here are like 19th century. I have then in the corner here 18th century, and then here 20th century, like modern classics. So I'm trying to build up some kind of like a collection regarding that. And I've really been enjoying 18th century literature lately. So I was happy to buy this book. And then the last book that I bought, I have two books of it. I got this book for Christmas. I haven't shown you, but it's Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. And this is the Penguin Classics cloth bound edition, I think it's called. Look at it, it's beautiful. And I got this for Christmas from my sister, and I absolutely love it. It's so nice. I do have plans to slowly collect the cloth bound editions of like my really top favorite classics. So I would love to have like North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell, Middlemarch by George Eliot. There are a few more that I've read. Persuasion by Jane Austen, which is my favorite Jane Austen. And so I would really love to have a shelf with these books just to kind of for display purposes. I think they're really beautiful. But so this is Jane Eyre. But Jane Eyre is definitely it's just been replaced as my all-time favorite classic, but it's number 2. And when I saw this edition at the bookstore, I'm a little bit of a book snob, I will admit. These black spined Penguin Classics editions I find are the most beautiful. And when I see one, I'm just like, oh, I have to have it, I have to have it. And so when I saw Jane Eyre in it, I have Jane Eyre here in the Wentworth Classics, and it's just like you can't even compare the two. I mean, this one is just nothing compared to this one. So I'm very happy that I have this one, and I will get rid of the other one. But yeah, it's so nice. So this is my little book haul. Not that little, but how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 books that I've already read and that I'm going to be so happy to have now on my bookshelves to look at and reminisce about the reading experience and just have a blast. And really, yeah, I'm so very excited about them for sure. Anyway, have you read any of these books? Did you enjoy them as much as I did? Let's have a chat in the comments. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye bye.